Are you a visual person? Or are you just a slightly overweight, balding fantasy genius like myself? Well, there's nothing wrong with having to see something before you know if you like it or not. It's like test driving a car, trying on a pair of shoes, sleeping with your... So in today's video, we're going to be looking at a few possibilities that you could actually start your draft with here in 2023 fantasy football. I'm going to go through and show you what your first 4 rounds could look like from all 12 draft positions. Then, I'm going to assign each team a hashtag. You're then going to subconsciously hit the like button because you appreciate the content, and then you're going to leave a comment down below with the hashtag of the team that you like the best. Got it? Cool. But maybe at the end of the video, you find yourself wanting more, right? You gotta walk away with the office trophy this year. You gotta beat that D-bag in your league that constantly holds it over your head. Well, be sure to head over to our website, thefantasyheadliners.com, and get your draft guide pre-ordered right now. It's scheduled to drop on July 1st, really soon, right around the corner, and it has every bit of information you need to draft a killer team here in 2023. If this video can get over 750 likes, I'm gonna give one away to a random commenter down below in the comment section. But don't forget, if you want yours for free, you can always sign up for a new account over on Underdog. Once you do that, use the referral code Headliners, make your minimum deposit of only $10. We'll match your deposit and give you a free draft guide. It's a great deal here this year thanks to our partners over there at Underdog. But now let's take a look at some of these scenarios. And we'll start off right here with the first overall pick. I ran a ton of draft simulations to try to determine how these drafts could look from the first 4 picks. Here we go for the 1.01. It started off with Justin Jefferson. He's going to be my number 1 overall pick this year as well. Followed by the last pick of the second round, Jalen Hurts, the early quarterback strategy here. The 301, the next pick, Ramondre Stevenson, part 2, right there at the 3rd. And then the 4th round, DJ Moore. Now, I went through and I gave these teams hashtags. Remember, you're going to vote with the hashtag down below. Just leave a comment with your favorite hashtag. I gave this one hashtag yard crew. Because if you think about it, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts, Ramondre Stevenson, they're going to put up some big time yards. The wild card here is DJ Moore. Now, over the past few years, up until last year anyway, he was putting up 1,100-1,200 yards a year with some crap quarterbacks. Now with Justin Fields, he could definitely at least hit that number again. We could be looking at a whole lot of yards right here with this first overall pick scenario. If you like it, hashtag yard crew in the comments. Next up, let's look at the second overall pick. That one went with Christian McCaffrey at the 102. Then Tony Pollard at the 211. At the 302, we had T. Higgins, and the 411, Terry McLaurin. Now, overall, obviously get one of the top running backs here early in the draft, followed up by Tony Pollard, who was a top 12 option last year, coming off of a major injury, but they lost Zeke and didn't really add anybody else. If Tony Pollard is 100% healthy and they don't overly just beat him up between the tackles, the starting of Christian McCaffrey and Tony Pollard could be pretty lethal. T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin, a little bit more boom or bust, not a lot of safety there at the wide receiver position, but I went ahead and gave this team the hashtag triple T, right? We had Tony Pollard, T. Higgins, and Terry McLaurin. We went triple T, right? 3 T's here. So if you like this, start at the second overall pick. Put hashtag triple T down in the chat. How about the 3rd overall pick? This is where we have Jamar Chase at the 103. Went back with Derrick Henry at the 210, getting Derrick Henry super late this year. Chris Olave at the 3-3, and then Joe Mixon at the 410, another guy who's going super late in drafts. Why? Because everyone hates Joe Mixon. Well, this scenario ended up with 2 Bengals. So for the hashtag, being that we also have King Henry, this is hashtag King of the Jungle if you like the 3rd overall pick. How about the 4th overall pick? We have Austin Eckler at the 104, Jalen Waddle at the 209, followed by Najee Harris at the 304, and Aaron Jones at the 409. Overall, when you look at this team, this one is very intriguing to me because Aaron Jones is I'm going to do so many videos on Aaron Jones this offseason. I love Aaron Jones this offseason. And then you pair him up with arguably one of the best running backs in fantasy football in Austin Eckler. And then you get Najee Harris, who's primed for a bounce back behind a better offensive line, a second-year quarterback in a second year of this offense. You know Najee could take a step forward. And then we still get Jalen Waddle, who he himself is still a top 10 to 15 wide receiver at the position, who has game-breaking speed and can win you a matchup all by himself. I really like the start here of the 4th. I gave them the hashtag, you run or waddle, because you better believe Aaron Jones and Austin Eckler are going to be running. Jalen's going to be waddling, I guess you could say, in the end zone, probably from time to time. Anyway, let's go on to the 5th pick now. We have Cooper Kupp at the 105, another early quarterback strategy at Josh Allen at the 208, Breece Hall at the 305, and Calvin Ridley at the 408. Honestly, this lineup scares me somewhat, right? We have Cooper Kupp coming off of an injury, as well as his quarterback Matthew Stafford coming off of an injury. Love the Josh Allen pick. Obviously, there's going to be some guys going a little bit earlier this year. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, those 3 quarterbacks probably going to be in the first 3 rounds at some point. Then you have Breece Hall, another guy coming off of a major injury, and at the 408, Calvin Ridley, a guy coming off a year-long suspension. I love Calvin Ridley, but when there's this much risk already in a lineup, I don't know if I would go that direction. Now, for the hashtag for this team is hashtag Cup runneth under, because there ain't a whole lot of running on this team, right? Breece Hall has himself a bad wheel as of right now, so if he's not 100% and you don't have a second running back until at least the 5th round in this scenario, I would be a little bit worried personally. How about the 6th overall pick? At the 106, we have Tyreek Hill. The 207, Josh Jacobs. My tail is wagging. The 306, we have Mark Andrews. Great value there. And at the 407, Justin Fields. So Justin Fields sneaking into the top 4 rounds in some of these scenarios. Overall, I don't mind it. Obviously, I like Tyreek Hill. I don't know what's going on with the whole off-the-field issues. Hopefully nothing comes of it. But with this guy's past background, I just why can't we be good humans, right? Just be a good person. It's not that hard. Josh Jacobs, obviously primed for another big year. Is he going to have the year he had last year? Don't get your hopes up. He's probably going to regress, but still have a great season. Mark Andrews there with Lamar Jackson back. I have my concerns about Mark Andrews, but in the middle of the 3rd, I don't mind it. And then Justin Fields. You either hate him or you love him. But one thing is for sure, the guy can score fantasy points. Even if he doesn't throw for 3,500 yards, he's probably going to rush for somewhere right around 1,000, and that's going to be good enough for him to be a top 12 option at a minimum. The hashtag for this one, I went hashtag Freaky Fields. All right, how about number 7, the 7th overall pick? We have Travis Kelce at the 107. Oh, this one got the super stack, right? It went the 206 Patrick Mahomes, the 307 Travis Etienne, and the 406 DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, we went with hashtag super stack because they got the Kelce Mahomes stack. And then you still ended up with Travis Etienne and DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, who we really don't know where he's going to play yet. There's rumors circulating for different teams. What if he ended up in Kansas City, though? Then we're going super stack, right? Because then we would have Kelce, Hopkins, and Mahomes. Whether that happens or not, we don't know. Probably not at the time of this recording anyway. Only having one running back, somewhat concerning, especially that it's only Travis Etienne, a guy that could lose a little bit of volume here this year to Tank Bigsby. Not a whole lot. Travis Etienne still going to be the number 1 guy, but he needs to stay healthy. What do you think about this number 7 pick? All right, 8th pick now. 108, Bijan Robinson. The 205, Garrett Wilson. 308, DK Metcalf. And 405, TJ Hawkinson. Right off the bat, Bijan Robinson, Garrett Wilson, probably the 2 most talked about young players in the NFL this entire offseason. The hype is through the roof, and that's why this team got the hashtag hype train. Do I overly love DK Metcalf? Not really. As my wide receiver 2 behind Garrett Wilson, I think it's okay. DK Metcalf has kind of made this transition to more of a quote-unquote safer wide receiver than that high ceiling type of guy, but having Garrett Wilson absolutely does help. All right, 9th overall pick. This is where we have Saquon Barkley at the 109, Nick Chubb at the 204, Devontae Smith at the 309, and Keenan Allen at the 404. So this team right here going back-to-back running back to start with Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb. I still like that because they still got 2 solid wide receivers. Devontae Smith, verge top 12 to 15 here this year. Keenan Allen, a lot of people writing him off as being washed, but if you look at the end of the season just last year, Keenan Allen came back healthy, put up huge numbers, and there's no reason why he can't be that volume guy again in the offense this year, which should be better with offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. For this team, I went hashtag Slim Chubb, because we got the Slim Reaper of Devontae Smith, and you know we like ourselves some Chubb. How about the 10th overall pick? And with that one, we have Stephon Diggs at the 110 and Amon-Ra at the 203, racking up some solid wide receivers early. In the third round, Joe Burrow found a way to sneak in through these simulations at the very end of the third at the 310. And in the fourth round, great value with Kenneth Walker. So we've racked up some huge reception totals there at the start of our draft, right, with Diggs and Amon-Ra. We know there's no Jameson Williams to start the year. Amon-Ra could start off hot, and there's a lot of targets to go between these two wide receivers. Joe Burrow, a solid, safe, consistent, high-volume quarterback that can have big weeks every single week in the third. And then I love the value of Kenneth Walker at the 4.03. Sure, Seattle just went out and drafted Zach Charbonnet. Sorry about that. Went a little bit overboard with my Charbonnet this week. But anyway, when you look at this team, it's very solid. You still have a running back one option, which is great in Kenneth Walker. I gave them the hashtag digging the sun god here for the 10th overall pick. For the 11th, at the 111, I went CeeDee Lamb. 202 is Devontae Adams. 311, Jahmyr Gibbs. And the 402, we have Amari Cooper. So we went heavy wide receiver in this one, right, with Lamb, Adams, and Cooper. And honestly, I don't think I hate that because you still get a high upside pick in Jahmyr Gibbs at the running back position at the 311. Do I want Gibbs to be my running back one? Probably not. Right, probably a lot of risk there. And really, I could say that, well, that's probably the biggest risk that was taken in the first 4 rounds, but we really don't know about Devontae Adams and how is he going to produce this year with a different quarterback in Las Vegas. We know CeeDee Lamb is going to eat. Amari Cooper, he's about to lose some volume, right? They added Elijah Moore. They drafted Cedric Tillman. There's other people there in Cleveland. So Amari Cooper could take a slight step back, but I don't hate it at the 402. For this one, I gave it the hashtag Lion Droppings. Because we got Jahmyr Gibbs from the Lions and then Amari Cooper's a Brown. It's really all I could come up with. Anyway, the 12th overall pick, the last pick of the first round at the 112, Jonathan Taylor. 201, A.J. Brown. Kind of like that start. The 312, Deebo Samuel. And the 401, we got Lamar Jackson in here as well. Another quarterback sneak. A lot of quarterbacks sneaking into the early rounds this year. That's definitely something we're paying close attention to. And I'm not overly against it like I have been in the past with a handful of guys, right? I don't know if I would take Lamar Jackson personally that early, but this is definitely a scenario that could happen. So Jonathan Taylor, primed for a bounce back, right? Hopefully with a new quarterback under center, can really take the lead in this backfield once again. Maybe not return to what he was 2 years ago, but definitely be better than what he was last year. A.J. Brown, we know he's a solidified wide receiver one. Deebo Samuel, not interested, right? I'm really not. I mean, the more we look at Deebo, the more it looks like his one good year was just some crazy outlier. And then Lamar Jackson, now that he's gotten paid, do I hate Lamar Jackson? No. I don't know if I would take Lamar Jackson in the 4th round or not. Maybe the 5th round, maybe depending on the other guys that I had. But already taking a gamble, I guess you could say, on Deebo Samuel, I probably wouldn't go Lamar Jackson there depending on what other players were available. For this team, though, I gave it the hashtag Ricky Bobby. Because if you ain't first with this team, you're probably going to be last. So there we have 4 rounds for 12 different scenarios, realistic scenarios of how your drafts could go this year in fantasy football. It really does help to visualize it, right? To see what do you like, what do you don't like, what do you want to look for, what do you want to avoid. These are the type of videos that help kind of unlock your mind a little bit and make you look at the bigger picture to really see what could benefit you in fantasy football in 2023. Remember to leave those hashtags down below. I'm going to pay my kids like $2 an hour. Don't tell anybody, don't report me, please, to add all these up down below in the comment section so we can see which team came away with the most votes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, we got that like goal here, 750 likes. We're giving away a draft guide to a random commenter down below as well. So be sure to hit the like button, comment down below with your favorite team, subscribe if you haven't already, and then do your part to make the world a better place.